Hi, everyone.
You're watching Two Bears in a Car?
Two Bears on the Road.
Two Bears on the Road, there we go.
We finally came up with a title.
It'll be just, well, we won't always be on the road, I don't think. It'll be while we're on a trip.
We'll be going somewhere, talking sex after kids, talking... Projects. Our last conversation was about board games.
There's a lot of board games.
There's a lot of board game chat.
So we're on our way to Film North in Huntsville, and in the car, we have guests today. Guest one is Mary Krohnert.
You gotta lean in. Lean in.
Hello.
There we go.
Another guest is my producing partner on Sex After Kids, Jennifer Liao.
I will lean in a moment. I'm just putting on this. She's making her.
Oh my God!
You realize
you are such an actor.
It's so dark. It's dark. You can't even barely see.
No one told me I was going to be on camera today.
I'm putting my sunglasses back on. And
I would, but I can't. I have to be able to look at the road.
I have an image to maintain.
Okay, there we go. So Mary, you wanted to pick our brains about once you're done tweeting.
Yeah, it takes me a long time to tweet.
Mary's going to be live tweeting our show. So these tweets are going to be
really old by
the time anyone watches the.
Find a hashtag.
Look for them on Monday.
Look for a hashtag. Yeah, this is not going to be up on Monday. Yeah. Look for a hashtag Two Bears.
I mean, we haven't even aired our first episode. That was last January.
Yeah. Hashtag number 2 Bears for the show. I think will work nicely.
This is our second official festival, but this now starts a run of
a shitload of festivals.
Many festivals.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
This month alone, we're going this weekend. We're going to be in Huntsville and Sudbury, and next weekend
Calgary and Edmonton. And then the weekend after that is Bend.
No, 2 weekends.
Or is it 2 weekends after that? Bend, Oregon.
Bend Film. We finish our run at Whistler.
Yay, Whistler!
Well, we might have some smaller festivals play in and around. Well, you know what it is? There's this new thing, not new, but it's just like, it used to be that's like festival run was over, the movie comes out, it's done.
Yeah.
But now there's like so many movies that still play in festivals after theatrical release. Like there's no rhyme or reason now to when your film plays in a festival, other than if a festival wants it. Like I know My Awkward Sexual Adventure last year, they had their theatrical run in the US, and then they played Maui in the summer.
Because it's an event. It's a cultural gathering.
Especially for independent film, it's all about being an event.
And you also have to remember that a lot of films don't actually get theatrical releases in a lot of places. So there are many communities across Canada and the US that won't have Sex After Kids at the theater. And so that's an opportunity to actually see it in a theater.
Small communities that won't have Sex After Kids.
I think lots of communities have Sex After Kids.
At a theater.
I did a radio interview with Moose FM this morning.
No, you did not.
I did. Moose FM, and Paul Amos thought I was joking, that wasn't a real radio station.
Oh, it totally is. It's cottage country.
Yeah, it totally is. He thought I was making fun, taking the piss, as he called it, and I was like, no, you just insulted an entire radio station by making fun of their name. But anyway, what was the reviewer, I sent her the link to see the movie in advance, and she doesn't have kids, but she said
not going to have kids.
No, well, she said she went on such an amazing ride watching the movie.
I need to have kids.
For the first half, she was like, I don't ever want to have children. But then by the end, she was like, I kind of really wanted to have one. And I was like, thank you, I'll take that.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, you gotta love the Moose. You're driving,
The Moose FM?
Yep.
And what city is Moose out of?
I think it's out of Huntsville.
Yeah,
Sweet. So we're on our way to the station. Had they been patient, we could have done a live interview.
No, but they did it.
Part of the morning show.
Part of the morning drive, the big morning commute
yeah, and of course it's screening today, so we want to get people who are listening out to the festival and watching our movie.
Take the weekend off early and whatnot. So Mary wanted to ask us questions about something.
Hi. I have a question about using social media in promoting culture, not necessarily film specific, but how do you do it?
How do you use social? That's a very big question.
Isn't it the same way you do it in promoting film? You just do. I mean, do you want to know? Well, in what medium are you looking to promote? Because social media is there's the you have to take into account all your positives and negatives, right? What are you willing to talk about? What are you willing to reveal? what do you think is not necessary to reveal, even if you are willing to talk about it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can be as open as Jeremy and I and say things that, take it with a grain of salt that we're in this business, we're personalities in a sense, but if you were a business, you would never say those things.
Yeah.
You can get away with it because you're in the arts.
You're in the arts.
But also, I have
You're characters yourself, so you've also
You're
branded
creating,
yourself
exactly.
specifically.
That's
I have
right.
my own avatar.
That's true.
You know what it is? It's like
I just own Avatar.
I don't
Sure.
have a
Jen doesn't have an avatar yet.
it's your own problem.
Yep.
It was my real face.
You know what it is? It's like, I mean, they throw the word branding around, and it's, and some people see it as a dirty word, but I think you get branded whether you want to or not. And I mean, I know for me, it's like I have a very specific kind of rule base in my head for what I will and won't tweet about, and just kind of like, and it's just because I do like to have some kind of level of privacy.
Yeah.
And especially because my wife likes to have a level of privacy.
Yeah.
So it's like I try not to mention like the kids' names and that kind of stuff. Although I do, I try not to post just anything. Like I know, like when I go on Facebook and I see someone's like back to work today, it's like I give a fuck. Like say something interesting about it. Like make another comment.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do that, you have to have another comment on top of it.
Yeah.
Like just fucking narrating your life is the most boring thing ever.
You have an audience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so that's why, and I think that, and I mean that's the way I see it. That it's like I'm trying to entertain people through updates and comments, and to just put down like a regular, this is what I'm doing is boring. And I mean sometimes you do that because it's like you want to get information out.
Yeah.
Like this is where something's screening, or this is how you can watch something. But that's different because
But
that's
it's useful and people want that.
and that's a service, and I see
Yeah.
that as a service message. And then you've got just like your regular ones that, when something occurs to you. But you also got to figure out who your audience is. And for me, it's like, there's some things I'll put on that are pretty inappropriate for a lot of people. But my thought is that those people, the people that do follow me and that enjoy me,
Yeah.
are going to
Know
get a
you
kick,
already.
and they're going to get a kick out of that. And they're going to appreciate that. And if someone doesn't appreciate it, then that's fine. Then I'm not for that.
Yeah. I remember when I was doing Warehouse 13, I talked to Eddie McClintock about that because he was like, oh, I've lost 30 followers today based on a comment you made. And that was exactly it.
Yeah.
Who your people are, and it's okay. Don't, if you don't like it, then turn it off.
30 for me is 10%.
I think from a really practical perspective, the important thing to remember is always the audience, because I do know some people who I really like, but I don't follow because they only tweet once in a while, and it's usually just 5 promotional tweets for the thing that they're doing, and retweets of compliments that people are giving them, and and that's, you can have some of that, but it's always you're also speaking to an audience, so you can have your own personality.
Yeah, you need to create a conversation with your fans.
And
Yeah.
you need to respond to them as
Yeah.
well. You need
Well-
to have talk it be as open as you can be, according to your own guidelines. Try and be entertaining, try and be interesting, try and be thoughtful, but then also interact if people are responding back to you, or just interact with other people in your feed if you can.
And interact in a genuine way.
You know what? I love Twitter for that. And I never would have thought that I would have been someone who enjoyed Twitter because, I'm me. But I think people dismiss it as being a really inauthentic way of communicating.
No.
That's actually the opposite.
I found exactly the
It
opposite.
can be
Yeah.
if you don't do it properly.
Yeah.
Social media is exactly that. It's for social interaction, right? So the idea is using it to create a relationship with the people who follow you,
Yeah.
building an audience, building a fan base, and you want it to be as sincere as possible. These people are going to follow you to the ends of the earth, and will follow you when you do amazing projects, and will follow you when you do terrible projects. But even when they know that it's not good, they're still going to be fans of yours. They're just going to be supportive
Yeah.
and walk you through it.
And the thing is, even the biggest media conglomerates know that the best advertising is word of mouth.
Yeah.
So no matter if you put $40 million into an advertising campaign for something, word of mouth is still super important, and that's why Twitter has been amazing, because you can literally connect directly with your fans or supporters as a whole, but
look at
also
Apple.
just individually.
Apple has got probably the best supporters on the planet. I mean, they do advertise, they pay for advertising, but they have so many preachers out there and ministers who are self-proclaimed Apple ministers, Macintosh ministers who just sell the product. Like, I'm an iPhone user, I'm an iPad user, I'm a Mac user. They are proud to be using their services, and will continue to do so. Every product, Twitter, everything, every person is going to have lovers and haters.
Well, I think the pride, the feeling like you're a part of something, especially with Sex After Kids fans, because they love it, they're part of it.
And that's the thing. It's like it definitely works in that way where you have genuine interactions with people. And they have. But to me, it's like I'm even just talking from a personal perspective because I don't really have, I guess, people who follow me generally are actually people that are friends of mine or just interested in what I have to say or that kind of thing. It's Twitter started for me as really communication to people I wouldn't necessarily have regular communication with. And I dated my old beau because basically we got together mostly via Twitter.
You dated what? Sorry.
Did you say your beau?
Ex-beau.
Oh.
The fact that you used the term beau has just dated you 80 years.
And you confused a lot of Lost Girl fans.
I wasn't sure what term to use, but yeah, that
Beau.
it was somebody I.
No, we have to get into the start.
No,
Stop. We're
man,
stopping everything going back. You said beau. So now you have to describe what your relationship was like.
Like, did he give you a corsage? Did you
Yeah.
did you wear his pin?
Did he come a
I
court?
mean, that's really sweet.
Well, here's the thing.
Did you ask him to the Sadie Hawkins dance?
I think to use the word
What is
boyfriend.
sock hop?
Yeah!
Oh, no.
Sock hop.
I'll let
I
Jen go.
thumbs up a lot apparently today.
I think to use the term boyfriend implies something that's like extremely serious. Do you know?
Where
what I
you
mean?
guys were just banging a lot.
That's not nice. Jerry,
Not nice,
come
but-
on.
We don't know his name. You didn't put his name down.
Yeah, we don't know
I
who
can
you're
be
talking
as
about.
cruel as I want until you name names. Say a name and I'll be polite. Say a name and I'll be polite.
What are you doing?
Awkward.
What are you
You're
doing?
being very
No.
unpolite right
But so
now.
so it's like kind of a casual dating relationship.
It's that you date and yeah, it's a relationship, but I find boyfriend like it's very serious. It means that you guys are like, I don't know, promise rings or
Promise rings. They call those.
That is also very revealing in its own way.
I gotta stop the car and get my poodle dress out of the back.
I'm a time traveler.
I just learned so much about you in the last 3 minutes. A bow.
That happens. But honestly, like I knew this person in real life,
Yeah.
but the truth is that Twitter is what brought us together. And I know people who have started relationships over Twitter.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And because
Start and end a relationship in 140
it's
characters.
It's really difficult not to
Efficient.
get to the. You get to the point,
Yeah.
but you kind of just have like people can tell immediately when you're being yourself. I mean that in a way, and it is true that you're taking the time to think about what you're going to say, but what you present to people is like a very reflective part of the few tweets you send out a day. It's very revealing what it is that you're interested in.
And you know what it is?
God,
Like,
I'm going to be really anxious now next on this trip when I tweet anything.
but you know what it is? Twitter is to Facebook what like print photography is to digital photography. It's like on Facebook you can just talk in a post and it can be as long as you want.
Yeah.
But on Twitter you have to really think about it. Like with digital real photography you only have so many frames. You have to think about a shot before you take it. Or with Twitter you have to actually put thought into what you're saying because you only have so many characters.
I like that idea.
So succinct.
Look at me.
So why?
Deep thoughts.
Deep Thoughts by Jeremy Law. But Bo, I think that's fetching, Jane. That you had a bow that you went on
Do you
Twitter.
have a term that you would prefer that I use?
No. It's,
Woman that raises my child. No, a bow. Like I would just say like
the guy I'm dating or a guy I dated.
seeing.
'Cause if it's
the person
not-
I'm seeing.
seeing,
maybe
yeah.
instead of dating.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess you could have said you were going steady.
Hold on, I feel like it's a level of seriousness that's between just dating and being like a full-on.
That's
Yeah,
just-
it's not a
it's like-
boyfriend, but it's
like
more than
serious
dating.
Enough, yeah, it's serious enough that.
Okay, let's break
Lover.
it down. What's the first level? What's the first?
Yeah, now we have to get into this.
Well,
you're
first lady
you're
dating.
having a date with somebody.
go on a date.
A date. A second date means
Okay.
you
So you're
are
dating. You're
And your
dating.
second
dating. Well,
How
no,
long did this relationship go
I guess
on?
dating would become 3+.
A
It's
few
like
months.
it's like the difference between a couple and a few, right?
Okay.
A couple is 2, a few is many. So I'd say that 2 is you've gone on 2 dates. Once you hit 3, you're dating.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. 3, you're dating. After you've dated for a couple of months, I feel like.
Are you exclusive at this point?
Yeah, because you may not even be exclusive that whole time.
Yes, exclusive.
So
okay.
once you become, so I mean,
So if you have
But
many
not,
suiters,
Like, but it's not just. It's not as.
They're not bows. They're suitors.
I think once
is
you
there a
become
difference between a boater?
if
boater.
you become exclusive, that's a boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does still seem serious.
Were you
Like, I feel like
exclusive?
a boyfriend is like 6 months in. You know what I mean? Like
What is
boyfriend
the?
like,
I think a boyfriend is once you're committed.
Yeah.
Like once you're not seeing anyone else, you're
Right.
your boyfriend or
I mean,
girlfriend.
when you aren't even looking because at this point in time you guys are happy seeing each other, that's a boyfriend.
Whether you put the label on it or not. I think if you're like
even if it immediately ends. that's
sure, but if you're exclusive, yeah, you're. I don't know. I've never had. What would be a female version of a beau be?
Oh. Is it not the same thing? I think it's a gender neutral term.
Is it?
Maybe it's for both.
Sweetheart.
Sweetheart?
Sweetheart.
Oh, I like that.
Your gal.
Well, no, I
gal.
think sweetheart would be a
My broad.
at least from that time frame.
That's if you're drinking gin.
Yeah, then you can have a broad.
Yeah.
And let's be clear, I don't use the term beau ever. It
Yes,
just
you do.
came up.
You did. It's too
I
late
really
now.
haven't.
You're
It's-
pigeonholed.
It's the camera,
It's your thing
I
now,
think.
Jen.
Yeah. It's the appearance of a camera, and all of a sudden you're thinking words that you don't normally use. I don't know. That's actually an interesting question because, yeah, I do find boyfriend pretty serious.
I think that reveals a lot about you.
Yeah, no, that does say something about me.
Because the beau thing, I think it's still. I mean, the fact that you've come up with a term for somebody that's that like.
I didn't make it up.
No, I
It's a
mean,
real
but
word.
no, but you did no. But what I meant was that you've taken that term and applied it to somebody. So
Sure,
you've
sure.
chosen to do that.
Yeah.
It means that you have some kind of level of.
I have referred in the past to this person as an ex-boyfriend, but I find that I don't know. I feel like that
Because ex-beau
that's a
is-
little serious.
You're right.
Ex-beau.
You're right. Ex-boyfriend is like
Yeah, like oh everybody's sad. No, it's
getting ready to.
I'm sad.
But an ex-fling, an ex-beau,
Ex-fling.
sounds-
an old
Or-
fling. I'd
or-
say.
An old flame.
That's an old
As
flame.
succinct as possible, a guy I used to date.
The guy I used to date.
A guy, because a guy I used to date is not.
But if you're writing on Twitter, it's got to be beau because
it's got to.
You need the
You've only got
character.
140
Is
words.
there like some short form of that for a guy I used to date?
Well, you can always, I guess, letter it. Are we going at 11 to North Bay?
XB.
Yeah, no, fuck. Aurelia, yeah, we have to go through Aurelia.
Implies something.
Yeah, follow 11. Yeah, because otherwise, because
We should not.
Sudbury goes that way and or Huntsville goes that way. So we want to take the 11.
We are late.
Continue to 400A to 11 north. Yes, we want 11.
We're on our way to North Bay.
No.
It says
the
so
wrong
right
way.
there. It says,
No.
oh wait,
Yeah,
we want to
do.
go there?
No,
Or we want to
Aurelia.
go there?
You're right, North Bay.
Yeah,
we're heading
we're-
towards Aurelia.
We don't want to go to Perry Sound, eh? We want to go to North Bay.
We're going through Aurelia.
Perry Sound.
Hey, can we
No,
stop?
there's nothing wrong, but that's just our destination.
Can we stop at a casino?
Yay!
We actually should stop at a casino.
We should stop at the casino. Let's lose everything now before the weekend starts.
So did we answer? We got distracted by
But
Jen
I
not
think for
having a
the
bow.
social media question, does that answer the...
Oh yeah, no, you know what? It's interesting because I think.
I think it's an ever-growing field. Of
Yeah.
people who-
And it is object and subject specific.
You know,
Because
I mean,
objectively as a person, you're going to create a personality. I mean, you have your own, but you're going to create what you're willing to do and what you're willing to share.
Yeah.
And then the people who follow you and say, "Oh, I saw her on that show. I'm going to start following her on Twitter," and suddenly, it just builds from there. And then they either get to like you or don't.
Yeah.
And they may follow you regardless if they don't like you. Who knows?
I mean, the bottom line is that it's a way for you to cut out any middlemen and connect directly with an audience.
I have 3 accounts. I have 3 Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
I have the Smithy TV account, which is specific to promoting the shows on the channel and just sort of things that I'm watching or things I do a lot of interacting with that, which I probably shouldn't. I have
Why?
because I have a personal account. That's probably best
I
where I
always forget
share
that
my
you have a
personal.
account.
So you have different personalities, different approaches. to
Exactly.
account you
Each
have.
one, like, I'm willing to say and do many different things on my personal account that I'm not willing to
I
do
never
on the Smithy.
connect to your. I always just go to Smithy.
And then I have a third account, which is based on my show Cast This. So, but it's a shared account between me and James, my co-host.
See, that's
And that personality is the dirtiest of all three because of the type of show we
Sure
are.
it is, yeah.
part of me is like getting to the point where because I find this with like because we have a Twitter account for Sex Tips for Kids and one for Paul Shepard, and it's just like you forget to tweet there or you don't have time. So
Yeah.
I mean, going forward, I'm almost just thinking of not having Twitter accounts for my projects
Just you.
and just having people just go to me.
Right.
Because it's just otherwise you got to try to remember and
Well,
you don't do it.
Generally, you are the one who doesn't run your account for the project.
Sure.
So, for instance, I mean, if there's a producer on board, if there's an intern or whatever, you get someone to be in charge of the project-specific account. And then they're the ones who, look for things that are interesting to tweet.
I guess
retweet people tweeting about you.
I guess my just thought with the project, it's like it's got kind of a shelf life. I mean, it's always going to be there, but when it's at its most potent, it's going to be only for maybe a couple of years.
That's right.
After that, it's just going to kind of be sitting there. Where my thought is like my personal Twitter account will be there as long as I am.
Yeah, just
And so it'll continue to it'll continue to evolve.
That's
where
right.
I don't know. I guess I think of it like extra clutter that I don't need.
That
Sure.
makes sense, yeah.
Well, I mean, look at Bomb Girls. I mean, Bomb Girls has got an account specifically for the show. They've got multiple fan sites
Yeah.
that are, and then they've got a campaign, I think, for the movie that they want to do because once the show got canceled, they wanted to continue to
Finish the story.
to finish the story. So there are like 6 to 8, I don't know. There's like 3 official sites, something like that.
I guess my just thought is that the problem with that is like say you're the creators of Bomb Girls and you have this amazing audience and they follow the Bomb Girls Twitter feed but they don't follow your own. How do you want to be able to bring those people with you to something the next thing and you're gonna have a fall off of people you lose.
There's
Right.
a very interesting case study about that. There's a show on BET. I think it's called The Game, where it's one of those. It's a drama. It's a BET drama.
I didn't know that it existed.
About like wives of football players or something like that. I can't remember it offhand, but basically what happened was
We had a
there's
Canadian
woman-
show like that with the
Hobby, Kristen. Was,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
What,
they also had
MVP?
it was there was
I don't know. Would you like to be? Oh, I don't know. Hello, we're back.
Part two.
I was just saying there's
Would
a
you like
woman
it?
who had a
I would like to pee.
Welcome back.
to the Up North edition, part 2 of Two Bears on the Road on Film Festival Up North stuff-ish. That's a great title.
We had a little hiccup with the end of our episode yesterday, so this is basically just a continuation. New clothes.
We're heading... I have new sunglasses.
Yep, Film North sunglasses.
Film North sunglasses.
It's pretty awesome.
Made in China.
That's okay, though. So, we had our screening yesterday.
We did. At the Huntsville Algonquin Theater Center thing. That's how it is.
It's a nice building.
It is a nice building. Government money.
Government money.
So what did the ladies think of the screening?
I thought it went really, really well. Oh yeah.
Is it-
Really active audience in the Q&A, and they were very complimentary as well. And we got to see some old friends as well, so it was really nice. Mary?
I just love being in new audiences. You hear them respond to every little thing just from their hearts. They don't know what to expect when they're coming in, and they loved it. It was great.
And we were talking with Jay Brazo was talking about, he'll be joining us in Sudbury. He was there last night but had to do a weird backwards trip where he went back to Toronto last night. And he was talking about like the typical Canadian response when they see a good Canadian film is that they don't know what to say. They're like kind of like
Yeah.
awkward. They're like, it was funny and they get locked up.
It was good.
Yeah. It's
Good.
it's confusing for us.
Because we're still living in an era where they're not expecting Canadian film to be good. They're so few and far between in this.
But yeah, I guess they go out of like, it's like going to church. They go out of loyalty. Good for them.
I still think it's unusual for people to be exposed to Canadian film, period. for it to
unusual.
be featured in something.
But what's amazing is hundreds are made a year.
Yeah.
So the amount of film that comes out of our country in the first place is significant.
Yeah.
And yet, so few people see it. Because we don't promote it. We don't have the advertising behind it the way that the American blockbusters do.
Yeah.
Of course, we also don't make Canadian blockbusters.
No.
We don't have enough people to make Canadian films.
We have the performers.
No, I don't mean like the actors, but the population to.
No, we just don't have the infrastructure. We just don't have the
I
money.
don't know if that's true. I mean,
Really?
like look at what happens when Canadian audiences go out to blockbuster films like Man of Steel or Batman or whatever the big tentpole films of the summers are.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada posts $10+ million in the box office. So if we made $2 million, $3 million films that were blockbusters in Canada,
Yeah.
there is an audience for it. We just don't advertise it.
So, have we made a Canadian blockbuster?
Like, how do you define blockbuster? Like, what is it that
I think you're talking about like a big broad film, like a
Big, broad
tentpole
film.
Okay, sure.
Superheroes?
Well,
action, that kind of. Yeah, I mean,
and do you count the ones that are shot in Canada versus because there's American money behind some of them.
Yeah.
So you get Kick-Ass shot in Toronto. You get
Resident Evil.
You get Man of Steel shot in Vancouver. Any of the like White House Down is shot in Montreal. So,
that's terrible.
but
That's not even where the White House is. I don't think, right? How did they make that work?
Screen.
Movies are bullshit.
But those movies will make a few $100 million in the box office, and 10 to 20 in Canada. So technically, you can make money in movies in Canada.
Yeah.
But it's the advertising, right? It's all about how much publicity is put towards it. I mean, the last Canadian movie that I can even remember had like significant push with advertising was Bon Cop Bad Cop. Bad Cop.
Passchendaele had a decent campaign.
Yes.
Well, there's that.
Well, in my opinion, to be on this podcast.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. Hope you're watching. But I mean, what was the Ryan Reynolds? I was going to say Foolproof.
Foolproof with
Yeah,
Kristen
Yeah, I mean,
on Netflix. It's very enjoyable.
I've seen
it
that.
was to be considered a Canadian blockbuster in a way,
Yeah.
and it didn't do the numbers I mean, none of it does do them because we don't have the.
We don't know how to market a blockbuster.
We don't know how to market
Our
it.
own. We have advertising companies that work in Canada that work on the big American shows, but they're just used to the budgets they have from the States. So that's the biggest problem. Is we need $30 million to make a blockbuster, 5 of which is to make the film, and 25 goes towards selling it.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we need. There's been like Steven Soderbergh, that big address he did. He was talking about how when he was making that Liberace movie with Matt Damon, the studios wouldn't. He's like, he went to them and was like, it's a $5 million film, and they said we can't afford to make it. And they're like, what do you mean you can't afford to make it? It's $5 million. It's nothing to you guys. Like, yeah, but it would cost us $75 million to promote it, and it won't make 80. It has to make 80 for us to break even. It's like, how does that's broke? Like, the system is broken if that's the case.
That's exactly how it is, though.
Yeah.
That's Kevin Smith's model when he made Red State. I mean, he thought about the numbers. He says when movies are being bought out of places like Sundance, when they're screening at these giant festivals, and you hear about this show was bought by the Weinstein Company or whatever, and they're paying the filmmakers $3, $4, $5 million for the film, and then they put $30, $40, $50 million in advertising. Well, why wouldn't you do the reverse? Pay them $30, $40 million and put $4 million in advertising.
Wow. Could you imagine?
But they won't. The problem is they don't and the worst problem is that they just don't understand how to advertise cheaper. Even though it's like if you have a really good grassroots campaign, you can do it for almost next to nothing, right? When like the best, like we were talking about on our first part of this podcast, like the idea that the best advertising is word of mouth.
Absolutely.
So it's just a matter of trying to find a way to utilize that. And I don't know. I mean, the problem is everyone's trying to figure out the answer to that.
Well, that's the same thing with the Red State model, right? He made a $4 million movie, and then he toured it, and it was all word of mouth, Twitter, Facebook. That's it, pretty much.
Yeah, but Kevin Smith has what,
He
like
had-
2
yeah.
million?
But he has the followers.
Yeah.
I mean, and people came out, and you know, he made, I think, $200,000 at Radio City Music Hall when he premiered there, and he now officially has the biggest amount of money per screen capita, because at that time when he was, you know, it was the only screening he had.
Yeah.
He had made more money, you know, in the one sitting.
Right, but it was also, to be fair, it was also like
That's just a numbers jump thing, though. It's
because it
was
wasn't
a fun
like
stat.
Yeah, but it wasn't also $12 a ticket. It was like, I think it was like an $80 ticket.
It was an $80 ticket, but you got a copy of the movie in the mail.
Yeah,
You know, it's like after it aired, I mean, I have a copy of it home because I went to see it in
Yeah.
Toronto. And,
But they're doing that now too, where you go to the movie, you can like buy like the DVD, the download when you buy your movie ticket.
But the difference-
Box office.
the
Oh,
difference-
but that's so, I don't know how. I have opinions.
Share them.
but there's still
Why
a
do
di-
I want to buy a movie? I don't even know if I'm going to like it yet. And then I want the movie. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know about that. No.
Sorry, it only
Sorry.
cost you
Sorry.
like $1 more.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like insurance.
Figure out
It's
a,
like insurance. You might like it, and then you save your money.
This summer would have been a very disappointing summer.
You would have lost $5 easily this summer.
I mean, that is one of the reasons they have to top load the marketing money so much, is because they spend $100 million on the movie, and then they have to open huge if they have any hope of
they have
keeping
to
up that
open huge.
momentum.
Yep.
And so that means attracting people who, you know, would like the only things that they're going to be paying attention to are a television commercial or a radio commercial, or look up in the sky and see a billboard or something like that. They just have to be in every place at every time in order to get that many people from every quadrant, as they say, to go out and see the movie. And I think that, of course, word of mouth and grassroots, that's what's going to give a movie legs and keep it moving, and really, and for even little movies, get it off the ground. But for something that huge, if they're trying to protect their investment, I think that's where that crazy number has to come from. It's flying banners to the sky on
Well, it's amazing. I mean,
airplanes and stuff like that.
They were talking about how even like something like Iron Man 3, everyone knows Iron Man 3 is coming out. It's like it's got a built-in audience.
Yeah.
They know the date. It's like you should be able to spend half the amount of money advertising that movie you do a regular, but they don't. They spend more
Yeah.
because they want to make sure they want to make sure everybody sees it on opening day.
There's a rule in advertising about how many times you have to touch a person
7.
before they will take
Action.
Take action. And so, even if you're aware that Iron Man is coming out, they have to make sure. Okay, see, let's do it. We'll just
I like
touch
this.
it.
No, don't stop.
I don't know what action
So
I
what
want
it
you to
is
take,
is
though.
that-
I have to be careful.
This is the PG podcast, I think.
When I think the consumer behavior course that I took in school talked a bit about kind of linking. You want to link your product to as many feelings or thoughts that a person can have, in a day, and that's what's going to make it. That's what's actually going to drive them to action. So, and you don't know what that's going to be for a lot of the time, and so it's just bombarding them.
It's a constant reminder.
Yeah, it's just
Throwing it
bombarding
on.
them in any way, and
As wide a net as possible.
yes, exactly. It's just
But that's kind of the beauty of smaller indie movies, is that we don't need to have.
Moose.
You saw a moose?
No, sign for Moose.
Oh, nice. Moose
We are,
crossing.
we are in possible.
We're in
if
moose
this
country.
podcast ends abruptly, it's because I've hit a moose,
We died,
and we've all died.
which, in case this will never be uploaded. So
Well, they might be when they find the
So
phone.
let's all say hi to our family.
We
I
love
love
you.
you.
It'll
All
be
right.
our black box when they find
Over! Let me out of the car!
Just slow down.
Nope. If they get in your way, you have to speed up.
But it's kind
the legs.
of
Oh,
kind of the
my
beauty of how small films don't have to have a big opening weekend as long as they have as long as they build momentum.
Endurance.
Well, there's oh god, I'm gonna get the name wrong, but there's like a thing called the short tail long tail theory. Have you heard of this?
the long tail. It's the long tail.
The long tail, where the idea is that places like Amazon. Well, places like Amazon, the idea is that it's like so say they have like a movie of ours up there. They've only got like maybe 10 copies in the warehouse because they're not selling a huge amount of volume.
Yeah.
But they've got 10 copies of 1,000 small movies, so they're able to make a profit doing that. They can keep a small amount and just sell and have more in volume. Where something like a Walmart or whatever, you know, they're selling 80% of what they're selling is only 20% of what's in the market. You know, they're not selling everything. And that's why online stores work well, because they can have everything. Where, you know, it doesn't make sense for Walmart or Best Buys or whatever to stock everything because it physically takes up their retail space.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Huntsville. Now that we went on that 10-minute tangent.
Yeah, Huntsville
Thank
was
you,
fun.
Huntsville.
Yeah, thanks
Huntsville
for
was
the
pretty
trip,
great.
Laura.
Yeah.
Wish I could have stayed a bit longer and, I don't know, sat out by the water or something like that.
And a Muskoka chair.
Yeah.
We ate at a lovely little place called The Place by the Lights.
Oh yeah, and that was featured
It
on.
was featured on You Gotta Eat Here,
You
which
Gotta-
is a show that I worked on. And they were very happy that we had come.
It was pretty awesome.
They brought everyone out as soon as they found out I worked on the show.
Yep. Personal visits from the chef, from the front of the house,
Very
from
sweet.
the waitress.
I
repeatedly
guarantee
came
you our
over.
food was not spat on yesterday. Or if it was done so with love.
It was love spit.
Either way, it was spit that made the food taste better.
That's
Made
right.
out with
Yeah. It
Wow.
was,
It was a lick,
Yeah.
but it was pretty terrific. Jen, you had a pizza.
I did.
It was
Oh.
good.
It was excellent. Yeah, excellent pizza.
Jeremy had a pasta.
And you had lasagna.
I had lasagna.
And Mary had a wrap.
A grilled veggie wrap. It was delicious.
It was very nice.
That's very scintillating. So there you go. The Place by the Lights in
It was also very
Huntsville.
sweet because was it the gentleman that owned the place or managed the place who came over and talked to us about the movie because they realized we were in town with the movie. So our server actually had heard Jeremy on the radio that morning.
Oh, that's
talking
right.
About the movie. And then this gentleman came over and
Gave the best joke
and
ever.
Told us a joke.
He said that a friend of his and his wife are now into S&M. They've been married for 10 years and have kids, and they've just recently gotten to S&M, where she sleeps and he masturbates.
It's awesome.
I didn't quite sell as well as he did because we thought he set it up perfectly. We thought he was actually talking about a friend of his. It was amazing.
We were,
Well played, sir.
I almost got very uncomfortable at the table. I said, "This is very forward of you."
We're old friends at this point. He's made us food.
Northern hospitality.
Yep, and I keep leather in the back.
There you go. Just that.
It's local leather.
We made.
So we are on the highway on the way to Sudbury. It's kind of a gloomy day.
Yeah,
but
but
a perfect day to spend the day in the movies.
But it's the beginning of fall. Like the trees are all changing colors. I mean, we could do the panorama, but it's
pretty.
It's pretty.
Can you see?
Whoa.
Or did I just have my hand in front of the camera the whole time?
That's
I think
all right.
That's what I did.
While watching you doing that, I jumped to 140 and started to, and almost swept us off the road. So I won't do that anymore.
I think I'll do it properly this time, where I won't have my hammer in front of the. Look at that, pretty.
Your hammer in front of the camera.
My hammer in front of the camera. All right.
There
So
it is.
so we're screening in Sudbury this afternoon. We'll be joined by Jay Brazo, Chris Holden-Reed, and Paul Amos, who are flying into Sudbury to the world's smallest airport.
Trouble.
It's adorable. So it's going to be a fun evening.
And we look forward to following up on the way back.
Yeah, we'll have a part 3 tomorrow on the way back to Tirana. Hi. Bonjour.
Hello. All right, we're on part 3 of the Huntsville Sudbury road trip, and we're on our way home. And to be honest, we've had a pretty great weekend.
We found out last night that we won the Best Canadian Feature at Film North, Huntsville. And our sound mixer from the film, Dennis Nicholson, was at the film festival with a short, so he was able to pick up our Dead Baby Antler award, which we'll get at some point and show you. I think we already posted pictures online, so you can see it there. So that was pretty exciting.
That's pretty awesome.
And we had a really good screening in Sudbury. We they do this cool thing where instead of just selling out a theater, they're able to bounce the movie into multiple theaters, and
They expanded to 3.
Yay!
Awesome.
And do the girls want to talk about the Q&A? How'd the Q&A go?
The Q&A was fun. It was really great. We had a very enthusiastic audience again. They loved the movie, gave us lots of compliments, which is always nice, you know. interesting questions. More anecdotes,
Yeah,
really.
not so much questions. It became a nice sharing.
Yeah, more people wanted to share stuff that they probably didn't need to share.
I think the highlight, very likely, was a woman who stood up with her husband and told us and the rest of the audience that, well, she actually just
And her husband.
Yes. Well, she turned to her husband and said, "Do you remember that time where we had the really amazing sex after an episode of Lost Girl, and I told you it was because of something else? It was actually because of
I was thinking about
one
Chris
Mr.
Holden
Chris
Reed.
Holden Reed, which was amazing.
It was amazing. The reaction was amazing.
It was really
Jerry, you had two awesome interactions right after the screening too.
Oh God, I had an 80-year-old man come up to me and said that film was beautiful. I'm gonna go home tonight and fuck the shit out of my wife, or at least try.
And then there was
And then I was in the bathroom, and a man told me that the film was beautiful and it was an honor to urinate beside me.
It's pretty awesome.
Those are both great.
That's the kind of interaction you can have with Jeremy if you just come to.
Yeah,
one of
he
these,
just followed me around
festivals.
until
Yeah.
So if you're in Calgary and Edmonton, although by the time you watch this, Calgary and Edmonton have already
Yeah,
passed.
I'll do my best to have a full bladder during the screening, and just follow me in afterwards.
Whistler in December, Bend. Oh wait, we're not going to Bend, but we will be at Whistler likely in December. So.
Got a few people who are trying to go to bed.
There might be representation at Bend.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then last night they have this thing called the pit party, which is right in the middle of the minefields, I guess. Is that the best way to describe that?
Well, it's like I don't know. It's a quarry
Grounds
basically,
of the grounds.
and they pour slag.
Slag.
Which is lava.
Slag. They basically pour lava, which is amazing.
Well, is it? Yeah, because it becomes slag. That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
When it turns onto the hill.
Get a whole bunch of drunken film festival goers out into the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night.
In pitch black, watching this molten roll down the sides of a mountain.
They
I'm
also
sure
do set
It
up a
was so
tent
much
with a
fun.
band and food. And
the band was
drinks
great.
and
It was like the Commitments.
It was great.
It's very fun.
That's
so
a
much
good
fun.
Analogy.
Yeah.
Lots of dancing, lots of drinking, lots of fun.
Just as
Lots of
attractive.
A little bit too much drinking, a little bit too
Not as
much
much light as
fun. We
people
started
think.
we started to sing along on the bus on the way back to the hotel.
Did a little extracurricular on the bus as well.
The cool. I bet if you go on YouTube, I'm sure you can find the slag pictures. Like someone's taken. There was many people with cameras. I'm sure you can. Someone's posted the slag going down the hill. It's pretty cool.
It might be later today.
We got free mittens. This is why Cinefest is an amazing festival because they treat you like a king. They put you up.
They feed you free booze.
Lots of booze.
Lots of booze.
And then they have this amazing party where they bus you in because it's technically an illegal party, I think. And then when you get there, it's cold, and the first thing they have is Cinefest mittens that you're able to keep. Amazing.
And free booze.
And free booze.
Lots of free booze.
And glow sticks.
Yeah, the glow sticks.
Yeah.
Some free wine.
Food? They have food. They
Beer.
have barbecue going on.
And a barbecue going.
Cupcakes.
Yeah, some cupcakes. It was a fun night. It was a really fun night.
And there was a little after party in the
Hospitality suite?
hospitality suite. That wasn't as exciting.
No.
Although
Okay.
you did burp in my face.
I
It was
burped in your
great.
face
Oh,
and I
it's so bad.
smashed 2 beer bottles in half.
Oh yeah, well yeah. You used the corner of a table to take the cap off, but you
We didn't
also
have
took
an
the lip
opener.
off.
Yeah.
Mary and I actually headed back earlier than these guys and watched Rush Hour 2.
What's our 3?
No, I'm
Wasn't
almost
it?
positive it was
Were they
Rush
talking
Hour
about
2.
it? Was.
I'd like to hear more about this argument.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
We had a fun time too, guys.
Yeah, yes.
Right?
The CBC shows quality films at 3 in the morning.
And we finished off my delicious pizza.
That's right.
But
We had some leftover pizza from dinner as well.
we know how to.
Oh yeah, we had an amazing dinner.
Yeah.
I respect is burning.
Respect is burning.
And we were joined by filmmakers from other films. Jordan Walker from The Privilege, Emily Hampshire, who's also in Chris Holden Reed's movie The Return.
Yep, the producer George Ayoub.
Good times.
It was awesome, and we had one of our funders.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
Who left us with the bill?
Who forgot to pay?
Who forgot to pay. So when
I-
you're watching this video, I just want you to know.
That meal was on me.
Forgot to pay, but
It's okay. No, you were not the only person who forgot to pay. Your bill was significantly smaller than the other person I forgot
And
to
the
pay.
other person who forgot to pay.
Which happens. Someone's
Guys,
loving me.
I'm sorry, alright? I'll pay you back.
Awkward now. Okay.
So we want to thank you for joining us on this leg of Two Bears on the Road with our wonderful guests, Mary and Jen in the back. They're waving. We promise they're waving.
Yeah, we should start posting these at some point.
Yeah, I guess so. One day when you see this, you'll have already seen our 2 previous episodes and maybe our 10-second naked teaser.
Jesus Christ. All right, bye.
All right, bye.